Okay, what if you want to get really good at something, but you don't want to specialize? This is the conflict that I keep running into. Because when I see people on YouTube, the fitness creators, the athletes, the people who are in the top percentile of their discipline, they've all gone all in on one thing. The fastest people have specialized in running, the strongest people have specialized in strength training, and the best climbers have specialized in climbing. And that makes sense, right? If you want to be the best in your discipline, you have to organize your life all around that discipline. But something about this has never really truly inspired me, because I don't want to be just good at one thing. I want to be capable, multifaceted. I want to be able to bench press 3 plates and deadlift 500 pounds and get in the top 10% of a competitive ultramarathon race and climb things that scare the crap out of me. A powerlifter might be able to squat 4 plates, but they can't even climb above a 5.9 grade. A ultramarathoner may be able to get a 100-mile race done in under 24 hours, but they can't even bench press 2 plates. And a rock climber might be able to climb consistently at the 5.13 grade, but they can't even run a 10K. And this is not a criticism. They chose, they specialized. And as a result, they're at the best at their level for their discipline. But what if you don't want to choose? What if, like me, you want to be good at everything? After 3.5 years of lifting, running, and climbing, I've decided not to choose. Not because I am not serious about all of them, but because I am serious about getting better at all 3. So I've decided that I can keep pressing forward in all of these disciplines by giving each of them their turn in the spotlight. Sometimes lifting takes the lead, sometimes running takes the lead, and sometimes climbing takes the lead, especially when you're lead climbing. But none of them has to disappear. So this is the story of how I started as a rock climber, fell in love with lifting, got pulled into running, and then decided that maybe I don't have to have a single athletic identity. There's room for all of them. And if you're someone who also struggles to pick one identity to specialize in, this is the YouTube video for you. You can build range, you can build a life that has room for all of them, and you're not just going to be okay at all of them, but you can excel in all of them, slowly over time. This journey really started in Baltimore. At the time, I considered myself to be a rock climber. That was the thing that I did, and it gave me something that I didn't really get anywhere else. It made me feel athletic. It was physical, but it was also technical. It was social, but also deeply personal. And it was scary, but in a way that made me feel alive. There's something about climbing that forces you to be present. When you're on the wall, you're not thinking about your email. You're not thinking about work or what you have to do tomorrow. You are thinking about your hand, your foot, the next hold, the next move. Climbing quiets the mind because it has to. And I think this is one of the reasons why I loved it so much. It gave me fear, focus, and presence. Eventually, I joined an adult social climbing club, and it was a combination of strength training and climbing practice with a coach. And this was my first real introduction into strength training and lifting. At first, lifting was a way to get stronger, to be better at climbing. Through this climbing club, I learned how to lift with proper form. I learned the squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. I also learned some Olympic lifting, like the snatch and the clean and jerk. And there was something really deeply satisfying about how explosive that all felt. The speed, the timing, the coordination. I felt athletic in a way that was very different from the slow, heavy strength training. But over time, my interest started to shift. I did get stronger, and I probably got marginally better at climbing too as a result of my strength training. But somewhere along the way, lifting stopped feeling like something I did for climbing and became something that I loved for its own sake. I liked how clear it was. The bar either moved or it didn't. You either got the rep or you didn't, and there was something honest about that. And when you are new, lifting gives you feedback quickly. The weights go up, the body changes, the confidence changes, and you start noticing muscles that you didn't really think about before. And you start carrying yourself differently as a result. You start seeing yourself differently in the mirror. you start to see those gains, and this I just fell in love with. When I first started strength training seriously, I did it to get in better shape. I wanted to lift more weight, and over time my body started to change. But the biggest change was not just physical, it was also how I ended up feeling about myself, because there's this quiet confidence that you build from seeing evidence that you are keeping promises to yourself. Every workout is a vote for the person that you want to become, and every hard set is proof that you are doing something uncomfortable. Every small change in your body reminds you that you are not stuck, you are progressing, and that you can change. And eventually I started looking at myself in the mirror and thinking, damn, I'm actually starting to look pretty strong. And that mattered, not because physique is everything, it's definitely not, but because strength made me feel powerful. And seeing my body change made me feel proud and made the effort visible. It made the work feel real. It made me feel like I was becoming someone different, not overnight, not some dramatic montage movie, but slowly, workout by workout, rep by rep, I was getting stronger and better. But this is the part of training that people don't talk about enough. At the beginning, progress is fast, and fast progress is easy to love. It's easy to stay motivated when your body changes month after month. It's easy to stay motivated when your lifts go up every few weeks. And it's easy to stay motivated when everything feels new. But eventually, beginner gains end, progress slows down a lot. The changes in your body become harder to see, the weights take longer to increase. You can train hard for months and add just a small, tiny amount to your lift. And psychologically, that changes everything. Because at first, training gives you constant rewards, and later, training asks the question, can you keep showing up when the reward is delayed? Can you keep training when progress feels repetitive? And you can keep going when progress is no longer dramatic, but hard to perceive week after week. And I think this is where the real transformation begins. Because the cheat code is not making progress when everything is exciting. The cheat code is learning how to keep showing up when progress is boring, because boring is where identity is built. Not in the exciting beginner phase, but in the ordinary days when nothing dramatic happens, when nobody is watching, and when the workout's not exciting, but you do it anyway. And then, just as lifting became a big part of my identity, running started to pull me in a different direction. At first, running felt like something separate. Running was endurance, lifting was strength, running was movement, lifting was mostly solitary, running was social. I could run with friends, I could sign up for races, I could explore trails. I could move through the world in a way that felt completely different from being in the gym. And then I started getting pulled into the longer distances, the ultras. This ultra distance started to become this mental challenge that I found really compelling. Because in an ultra, your mind becomes a part of the terrain. At some point, your body gets tired, you feel hurt, your legs feel heavy, and your brain starts negotiating with you. It asks, why are we doing this? Do we really need to keep going? Wouldn't it be easier to stop? And in those moments, you learn something about yourself. Not because you never doubt yourself, but because you keep moving while the doubt is still there. This is what I love about ultra running. It gives me a place to practice that resolve. It lets me test my ability to control my mind and teaches me that I can feel bad and still keep going. And that lesson carries over to every aspect of my life. But now I had a problem. Because I loved lifting, and I loved running, and I still loved climbing, and I started feeling the pressure to choose. Am I a lifter? Am I a runner? Am I a climber? And the frustrating answer was, yes, I am all of these things. But trying to be all of these things is complicated. They compete for time, they compete for recovery, they compete for energy, and they compete for identity. If I push powerlifting really hard, my running can suffer. If I increase my running too much, my lifting can stall. And if I spend time climbing, that is time I'm not spending under the barbell or on the trails. And the advice for most fitness spaces is pretty clear. Pick one. Specialize. Stop trying to do everything. And again, I understand why people say that. Specialization clearly works, but there is a cost to specialization, and there is also a cost to not doing things that make you feel alive. because lifting gives me something that I do not get from running. Running gives me something that I do not get from climbing, and climbing gives me something that I do not get from lifting. So the question became less about which one should I choose, and more about how do I build a life where all of these can exist. And this is, I think, where the message matters. I'm not doing multiple things because I don't care about being good. I'm not doing this because I lack discipline. I'm not doing this because I'm afraid to commit. It's actually the opposite. I want to get good. I want to get really good. I want to be strong. I want to be fast enough. I want to be durable. I want to climb harder. I want to compete. I want to improve. And I want to see where the ceiling is. But I don't want to become great in one narrow direction while losing the ability to do everything else. I don't want to be a lifter who can't run. I don't want to be a runner who can't lift. I don't want to be a climber who feels fragile outside of climbing. I want range. I want the kind of body that can do hard things in different environments. Under the barbell, on the trail, on the wall, in the mountains, in the gym, and in everyday life. So I've decided not to choose. Instead, I'm going to give each discipline its time in the spotlight. So this idea has helped me reconcile this conflict, because I do not need to train everything at full intensity all the time. That would probably make me worse at all of them. I can rotate emphasis. So when lifting is in the spotlight, I can push my strength harder, maybe leading up to a powerlifting meet. I can squat heavier, I can go for bigger bench presses and bigger deadlifts, but running won't disappear. It just will support the main goal. And then when running's in the spotlight, I can build mileage, I can prepare for races, spend more time on the trails, but lifting won't disappear. It'll just support this main goal. And then when climbing is in the spotlight, I can spend more time on the wall, I can practice technique, movement, grip strength, and fear, and the other disciplines will just be in the background. So this has become the framework. One discipline can be in the spotlight, and the others can rotate over time. Everything gets its chance in the spotlight. This way I'm not trying to maximize everything at once, but I'm also not giving anything up. I'm just pressing forward in all of them by rotating. And it's probably going to take a little bit longer for me to improve in all of them, but this way I think I can maintain what's most important to me. Because they all give me something different. Lifting gives me confidence. Strength makes me feel powerful. My physique makes me feel proud. And when I walk into a gym and put weight on the bar, there's a part of me that feels really grounded by that. It teaches discipline, it teaches me coming back to the same movements again and again, even when improvements are small. It's not always exciting, but it is honest. The bar does not care how I feel, does not care if I posted it online, doesn't care what I intended to do. It just asks whether I can lift it, and I love that. Running gives me resolve, especially ultra running, gives me that place to test my mind. It reminds me that discomfort is not the same thing as danger. It teaches me that I can keep moving through fatigue, through doubt, through frustration, and I just love moving. I love the movement of it all. There's a freedom in running that feels completely different from lifting. You're not confined to a rack or a platform. You're moving through space, through neighborhoods, through trails, through weather, through long stretches of your own thoughts. And running is social in a way that lifting is not for me. Some of my favorite memories have come from running with friends, signing up for races, having my friends pace me, and being there for my friends when they're doing their own races, and sharing difficult miles with people. Climbing gives me fear and presence. It scares the crap out of me, just enough to make me feel alive. But it also quiets my mind. When I'm on the wall, I have to be there fully. There's no room for distraction. I need to know what my feet are doing, what my hands are doing. I need to know every position of my body. It's only the next hold, the next breath, the next move. Climbing reminds me that fear is not always something to avoid. Sometimes fear is something to practice, something to breathe through, something to work with. And I think I need all three of these. I need confidence, I need resolve, I need presence, I need strength, I need endurance, I need fear, I need focus. These are different kinds of training, and they're also different ways of becoming healthier. Of course, there are trade-offs. I'm not going to pretend they're not. A hard run can make leg day feel a lot worse. A heavy squat session can make running feel awful. Extra muscle can make climbing harder. Climbing can fatigue my grip before deadlifts. Trying to do everything means recovery matters a lot more. Programming matters a lot more. Patience matters the most. But these disciplines do not only compete with each other, they also can feed each other. Powerlifting helps me during the uphill hiking sections of ultramarathons, for instance. When the race gets steep and everyone is reduced to hiking, strong legs matter. A strong posterior chain matters. The ability to keep pushing when your legs are tired matters. Climbing helps my grip strength for lifting. It also helps me practice fear. And that matters a lot more than I expected, because signing up for longer races, heavier lifts, harder climbs, or bigger goals always involves some level of fear. Climbing gives me regular practice with that feeling. And then running helps my cardio endurance for climbing and for long gym sessions. It gives me a bigger engine, helps me feel more durable, helps me recover mentally, and sometimes a run gives me something that no amount of lifting can. So, carry over, although not perfect, and interference is real, but the combination makes me feel more complete. Makes me feel like I'm building something broader than a single number or a single performance. When I look back over the last 3.5 years, I can see the physical changes. I see a different body, more muscle, more strength, more endurance, more confidence, and I'm proud of that. I do not want to downplay the body transformation because it matters. It feels good to look stronger. It feels good to see progress. It feels good to know that effort has changed the way I look and the way I carry myself. But the deeper transformation was not just physical. It was becoming someone who keeps showing up. Someone who became more willing to do hard things. Someone who became more comfortable being uncomfortable. Someone who realized that progress does not always need to be dramatic or meaningful. Someone who learned that identity does not have to shrink around one thing. It can expand. For a long time, I thought that to be serious, I had to be specific. A serious lifter only lifts. A serious runner prioritizes running. A serious climber builds everything around climbing. But I do not think that is the only way anymore. I think that you can be serious about multiple things. You just have to accept that the path is a lot more complicated. You have to manage your recovery, you have to be patient, and you have to stop comparing your progress to people that are only doing one thing. You have to remember why you are doing this in the first place. For me, the goal is not just to maximize one number. It's not just about the biggest deadlift. It's not just about the fastest race or the hardest climb. Those things matter. I care about them. I want to improve them, but they are not the whole story. The bigger goal is to build the life that I actually want to live. A life where I feel strong, where I move often, where I face fear, and where I can compete, improve, explore, and keep becoming more capable over time. I do not want fitness to make my life smaller. I want it to make my life bigger. And that is why I do not want to specialize completely, because I do not want to give up on the parts of training that make me feel most alive. I want the confidence of lifting, I want the resolve of ultra running, and I want the presence of climbing. And I want to keep finding out how far I can go in all of them. So if you feel pulled in multiple directions, maybe you can relate. Maybe you love lifting, but you also want to run. Maybe you love running, but you also want to climb. Maybe you have goals that do not fit perfectly together. And maybe part of you feels like you need to choose one identity to be taken seriously, and I get that. But I don't think that loving multiple things means you're less committed. I think sometimes it means your ambition is broader. I do not want to be strong in one direction and fragile in another. I want range, I want to keep getting stronger, I want to keep running further, and I want to keep doing this for years. I started this journey because I wanted to become a better climber, then I fell in love with lifting, and then I fell in love with running. And for a while, I thought that it meant that I had an identity problem. But now I think the healthiest version of me is not the version that finally picks one, it's a version that keeps showing up for all of them. Not because it is optimal, not because it's easy, but because together they make me feel more like myself. So maybe the goal was never to choose. Maybe the goal was to build a life with enough room for all of the hard things that make me better.